Hello and welcome to Chit Chat and all that with me, Amanda Prowse.
And me, Penny Dommett. Thank you for joining us for your weekly dose of chatter, where we'll be talking about all the things that we usually discuss around our kitchen table.
A diverse range of topics that we hope will engage and inform. Well, we can but hope. And you can, of course, catch up on all previous episodes from wherever you get your podcasts.
So yes, give us a like, press the subscribe, follow button, pull up a chair, welcome. She laughs at me because I can't say subscribe.
Do you know what, though? That was 95%.
Yeah, it's the B and the S.
I know what it is, darling.
Subscribe.
It's not the B and the S. It's you getting your mouth and lips around the B and the S. Are you practising in your downtime?
I am. Can we call it something else? I'm just going to say press the follow key.
We should. Although
it isn't a key anymore, is it?
No. Where's the fun in that, though? It's one less thing for me to laugh at if you can't say subscribe every day. But no, so lovely to have you with us. Thank you. And the first thing I need to show you, Pen, are you sitting comfortably?
I'm sitting comfortably.
Is we have been sent a gift. Not just a gift, but the most extraordinary gift.
Oh, my goodness me. That is absolutely incredible. They are the most beautiful, beautiful mugs. And one says Chit and one says Chat.
I'm not sure whose is who.
I quite fancy being the Chit.
I've been in the Chit quite a lot recently, so I'd love to be a Chat. That's perfect. But they are stunning Emma Bridgewater mugs from our very lovely mate, Wend.
Oh, Wendy.
I know.
Wendy, can I just tell you how wonderful Wendy is.
She still is.
I first met Wendy the same time that I first met Mandy.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to go to Australia and we were supporting people in I'm a Celebrity. I was there for Joel, my son, and I was there all on my own, went halfway across the world, very nervous, didn't know anyone at all, and I arrived in this hotel and it will stay with me to this day. Mandy and Wendy were so kind to me. They really were. There were other people too that were there that were absolutely incredible and who I've stayed in contact with.
Yeah.
Lovely Lisa.
Lovely Lisa.
Lovely Frankie.
Yeah.
And I'll always be really grateful because I was completely a fish out of water. I didn't know what on earth I was doing. And you and Wendy just took me under your wing. And you were sort of navigating through press and people and you just were so kind to me and I will never forget it. And we've stayed in touch with Wendy, haven't we?
Oh, Wendy is, so we have a WhatsApp group called the Three Wise Women, the letter Y, because we are Penny, Mandy and Wendy.
Yes.
And we just love her, don't we?
Oh, she's so kind.
She's
so
one of those
kind.
people, Wendy's one of those people that you might not see her for a month, 2 months, 3 months, but you see her and it's like you saw her yesterday.
Yeah, totally.
Whereas when I see you, I have actually seen you yesterday.
But there are just some really genuinely nice, kind people in this world, and Wendy is one of them.
She certainly is.
Yes, so anyway, thank you, Wendy.
Thank you for our beautiful mugs, which
they
we
are
will
beautiful.
Post a picture of course. Anything good gone on this week? What have you been up to?
Do you know, I've had my head down this week. Yet again, it is a very, very busy time if you grow flowers because there's lots of seedlings to be done. I spend a lot of time in the greenhouse. The weather has been better. Just thought I'd give you a little weather update. The weather has been better, but actually it's been too hot.
Oh, do you know what? There's no pleasing
there's
some
no
people.
No pleasing me. So lots more dahlias have been potted up ready, and I've brought you some ranunculus today because they are flowering like mad.
I think it's quite possibly the most beautiful bouquet you've ever bought me, and you've bought me a few. They're just absolutely stunning. They're sort of a dual colour petal. I can't quite describe it. Again, we'll post a picture, but they're just so beautiful, Pen. Thank you.
They are called Ranunculus striata.
I thought they were. Yes. I didn't want it. Yeah, I guess
Ranunculus are a weird thing because they sort of look like a cross between a rose and a peony.
Oh, they do.
They are a bit tricky to grow. But when they do, they are so stunning and they last for ages.
Do they? I like that because it always annoys me when they get to that halfway stage. They might have a day or two left in them, but you've got to bin them. I find it quite distressing.
But I was saying to you this morning, you thought I was going completely mad.
I know you've gone completely mad.
I was saying to you this morning, when you get given cut flowers, so snip a little bit off the ends, put them into some nice clean fresh water, but don't put them in the sunshine, so preferably not on your windowsill, but also don't leave them near the fruit bowl.
I've never heard of this before.
Yes, fruit or veg really, not that you'd likely be putting them near veg, but fruit gives off ethylene, which is the thing that matures things. So matures fruit, matures flowers. So if you leave your vase of flowers next to your fruit bowl, the fruit will make them go over a lot quicker than if you leave them away from your fruit bowl.
So is it a bit like when you put your bananas and your avocados with your grapeage and you end up with, it all goes a bit funny, doesn't it?
Totally. So if you want your tomatoes to ripen,
I do.
You put your banana close to your tomatoes.
Use it to your advantage.
Or your avocados. If you want your avocados to ripen.
I want them to unripen. What is it about an avocado? It's hard. You can't use it. 12 seconds later, it's too mushy.
Totally. Perhaps you've left it with your bananas.
I could have done all my ranunculatas. Ranunculus. That's another one for me to practice.
And there's no quick way of saying ranunculus, is there?
No, not for you.
No.
Pen, I should just again point out, it's like I'm always apologising to our lovely listeners. We have the dog snortage under the table.
Oh, is that the dog?
That is the dog. And it's because you bought homemade bread today, which was stunningly delicious. Thank you, clever lady. And I think there may be crumbage beneath your seat, not casting aspersions, but just saying you're a very messy eater.
Oh, thanks very much. I did have one funny thing happen to me this week. As I said, I've been quite busy. So there's been a lot of weeding because
I thought you said reading, but like weeding.
Weeding. Well, you do the reading, I do the weeding. Reading and weeding.
I get it.
There's a hashtag for you. Reading and weeding. So I have been given this most incredible new tool.
Oh.
I don't think I've mentioned this before, have I?
I don't know. I don't think so. So far, you're all right, Pen. I'll do the sign that says you've spoken about this before. It's this one. I'm doing
She's
a sign.
Shooting me. So I've been given this wonderful new tool. Am I allowed to say where it's from?
Pray tell.
It's from a wonderful company called Niwaki, which is a Japanese company. They make the most incredibly good, useful tools. And it's called a hori-hori knife.
A hori-hori knife?
Hori-hori knife.
Okay.
And basically it's a knife in a little sheath. It is a sheath, isn't it? Yes. A knife holder. What do you call it? Anyway, holster. Is on my belt.
Yes.
Okay. And so I've been out in the field.
You must look like in the field. What? Listen, you're painting an image here. You sound like if Inspector Gadget had to go out and sow some oats. That's what I'm picturing right now.
So, and it's sort of like a 6-inch blade, and it's serrated on one side, slightly curved. So useful.
Yet lethal.
That was the problem because I had to pop into Tesco to get some new bread flour to make your bread.
Thank goodness you did.
Yes. So I thought, right, got enough time in between clients, zip in, went into Tesco's, got my bread, get to the checkout.
This is Tesco Thornbury where we both shop.
Yes. Get to the checkout. And the woman behind the till is giving me the strangest looks.
Not your earbud. Not your earbud was out.
Earbud, no. But then, of course, to make it worse, I went, oh my gosh, taking my knife. Oh my gosh, I forgot I had this in my pocket. And she went, and I went, oh no, I'm not supposed to have this on in here, am I? Oh, I'll put it further down in my trying to sort of hide it, but I didn't have anything but my phone.
Pen.
I know.
So you were, hang on a minute, what day was this? Because I did hear, they did put out a little announcement saying avoid Tesco, there's a mad woman with a lethal weapon on the rampage. Well, was that you?
It is bad. I will never, ever do it again. I was horrified. I was mortified. I was very apologetic.
Did they escort you out the premises?
No. I sort of ended up practically shoving it down so that people couldn't see it.
That's always fine.
Yeah.
If you have...
I walked funny.
...a terrible weapon, but people can't see it...
It's fine.
Generally, it's fine. Pen.
It's fine.
That's so funny.
I don't think any of the security men followed me out, but this is a warning to all those gardeners out there. Make sure you check your pockets and your holster for
your sheath.
Yes, for anything that you might have about your person that could be seen as dangerous.
Yeah,
because you're not allowed to.
Funnily enough, my funny story this week also involves Tesco, but in a slightly different way. Sorry, dog, because I'm sat at the table, the dog thinks I have food and she's climbing up on me.
Oh, no.
Go and see your daddy. Go on, go somewhere else, because I'm trying to record a podcast, Dottie. I don't have any food. Sorry about that, Pen. Sorry, listeners. So I decided, taking your advice, to go out and get my hands on something green, which I know has been your recommendation for my mental health for a long time.
It has.
Well, I have taken this to heart, Pen, and every day I've been doing 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm doing a little bit of weeding, a little bit of planting, a little bit of snipping.
I saw on your Instagram post your damaged hand from your secateurs.
Yeah, so Simeon very kindly bought me a pair of secateurs because I didn't have any. I had slight secateur envy, got to be honest. Now I'm in the club. Hey, it's great. And the first time I used it, you can see I've punctured my skin. There's a wound and a bruise and a cut.
I must buy you a sheath.
I got a couple left over from 1994. I think they're in a drawer somewhere.
I must get you a holster. It's the best thing. I'm going to send a photograph of my holster.
Okay.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, I might be converted, but let's do baby steps, because so far all I'm managing to do is pot up a pansy and literally snip a little bit off my overgrowing bush, which is, trust me, ladies, it's a battle, right? So I decided I was a bit bored. I'm weeding I have a potting table, is that what you call it? As you come in the gate from the yard. And on it is sort of things waiting to be planted in the garden. I'm so worried of using the wrong terminology. I'm looking at you going,
it doesn't matter.
Planted in the garden.
It doesn't matter.
And that's where I now keep my secateurs too.
Oh, well,
now I'm in the secateur club. And there was a big pot and it had some bits in it, don't know, flower stuff. And I'm pulling it out, and for some reason I pulled one of the weeds and I went, "Begone, weed!" and I threw it over my shoulder. And I thought, that was quite funny. And I just stood there going, "Begone, interloper!" And I was pulling them all out, doing this voice, shoving them over my shoulder in my own little world. Because we all do things like that, don't we, on our own?
Yes.
You sort of feel you can.
Perhaps not quite in that vein, but yes.
I do many different voices.
Yes.
And I know we've touched on this before, that I also like to advertise products as I'm using them around the house to make the chores less boring.
Okay.
So, for example, if I'm doing a bit of a Febreze, on the sofa, I will actually do a little song about Febreze and explain to a non-existent camera why it's good for my home to use it.
I bet you, if I said shake and vac, you could sing the song.
You do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. If your carpet smells fresh, your room does too. Every time you vacuum, remember what to do. Yeah.
See?
I don't remember it.
A child of the 70s.
Don't remember that at all. Anyway, so I'm pulling weeds and I heard a and I thought, turn round and there's the Tesco man, because obviously I had a delivery, not like you. I was going to go into Tesco, but I'd heard there was someone on the loose with a weapon. So I thought, better get a delivery. I turned round. There's a man with my tray full of avocado and pickled onion Monster Munch. And he went, sorry. I said, no, that's fine. And then I did that thing, because I was embarrassed because he'd heard me, "Begone, weed." I thought, I just went really, really cool and officious. So I went, "Yes, that's fine, thank you very much. Come in," as though it was perfectly normal. And then I ran into the kitchen, I was cringing. So he's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Nothing." He just caught me doing one of my things. He's like, "You weirdo." I know I'm a weirdo. So that was quite funny. But yeah, other than that, fairly quiet. I've just been writing like like a mad thing in a cave with a typewriter.
I know I can't ask you what you're doing at the moment.
You're
writing at the moment.
And I'll say
what you're writing at the moment. So soon it must be Swimming to Lundy's coming out.
Swimming to Lundy comes out in August, which is
a little while then.
Really exciting. Available for pre-order now, but it's great because that's sort of put to bed, and I'm just starting to do all the sort of PR for that, which is lovely because you have to do it a bit in advance, because obviously magazines and articles and things are written way in advance. So I'm sort of trying to imagine what it will be like in August, in the summer, when the book's out and hopefully the sun's on the water, instead of looking out of this grey sky and trying to feel summery. But no, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I've been working like a loon. And I was thinking a lot about how when I shut myself away in this and just work for sort of 12, 15 hours, which, to be honest, isn't a chore. I love doing it, Pen, as you know. I'm very conscious that my mental health starts to sort of slip. Because I don't go out and talk to people or do anything else, I suddenly feel like I can't or don't want to. And it made me think about self-care. And I know you're really hot on self-care, aren't you? You're very good at it.
Well, I know what I should be doing for self-care, but we are similar in the fact that we have quite isolating jobs that keep us working on our own for much of the week. So this, I mean, we talk about this all the time, this ability to be able to sit with somebody just for a couple of hours and chat is for me an incredibly important part now of my self-care.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's really important.
I should just say at that point, so I met Becky at the hairdressers this week. Lovely, lovely Becky, who is a nail technician and a beauty person, therapist. She's lovely. And she said she listens every Friday morning as it comes out on her way to work. She can't wait for the next episode. And she said the two things she loves the most were hearing us laugh. Yeah. She said it makes her laugh. It doesn't even matter what you're laughing at, it makes her laugh. She said, and it's the background noise of the birds, the dogs, the chatter, she said it's so evocative. She said just the sounds around you, she said, are really, really lovely. I hadn't even thought about that.
No, I hadn't. That's a really good point. I've had some lovely messages this week from people because I'm so sorry. I've become such a giggler. I didn't realise what a giggler I was. But people have said to me how infectious laughter is. And especially when people feel they want to join in, that's such a wonderful thing to know, isn't it?
It really is.
It really is so nice to hear people liking the podcast and feeling like they can join in.
And the fact that we have a lovely time.
Yeah,
as you say,
really do.
Part of our self-care.
Yeah.
So have you always been aware of self-care? Because I was never aware of it. It was just head down, keep going.
Yes.
It feels like a bit of a sort of really new movement for someone of our age, I'd say.
I think it is. I think when you have small children, the last thing on your mind is looking after yourself. You are looking after others.
Which we should, of course. We should look after ourselves.
Yeah, but we're looking after others. I mean, if I had an hour that I could allocate to myself, I would love to do something like an hour of uninterrupted yoga.
Oh, I mean, that's your thing, isn't it?
That's my thing, yeah.
With lovely Emma.
We've talked about Shakti.
You've talked about Shakti.
Yeah.
Still not a convert.
Yeah, still not a convert. The other thing I love doing, and I know we've touched on this before, because it feels really decadent and luxurious, is I love to read in the bath.
Yeah.
But there's only certain things you can read in the bath.
Well, of course. And actually, one of the greatest joys in life is when you pick up a book after reading it in the bath and it's got those bloated, dried out, watery corners, so it looks like a lovely little crinkly fan.
But you have to pick your book to be the right type of book to be reading for a little bit of peace in the bath.
You don't want to be too agitated.
You don't know. You definitely can't. You have to select your book carefully.
Your bath read.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am actually reading at the moment in the bath, when I get the chance, Remarkably Bright Creatures.
I don't know it.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's very light and lovely.
I like that.
Shelby Van Pelt, I think.
You're going to have to check that time. We're going to check that.
I'm not very good at authors. But wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
So this week I've just read Libby Page, The Lifeline, and she was the best-selling author of The Lido, I think it was her last book. Do you say Lido or Lido?
I say Lido.
I say Lido, but I don't know why.
Tomato.
Scone.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's really lovely and a sort of easy read, but very much focusing on women and female relationships, all the things you'd expect. It's just lovely. Yeah. But it's weird. So for me, the biggest thing I think I've learned about self-care is that I need to not feel guilty about sleep. So I remember when the kids were little, I felt like I was in a competition. You'd meet other mums and they'd say, I've only had 2 hours sleep and I've already, made a shepherd's pie for the weekend and hoovered the house and I think, I'm just so tired. And it became like almost a badge of honour. The less sleep you needed, the more you were coping, which actually is just rubbish. And very often that's just a front, isn't it?
Totally.
And I now see that. I was always thinking, I'm so tired. And then I think post-COVID, I could quite easily nap every day if I wanted to, if I had the time. Quite easily, if the world allowed, 3:00 in the afternoon, I could do a 20-minute nap.
Oh, I mean, as you know, I have to have my 7.5, 8 hours.
Yeah.
I'm not a nice person if I don't get enough sleep.
Well, you're fairly ropey with it then, so I'd hate to see that.
I was very fortunate. I lived in Spain for a while.
Yeah.
And of course, they definitely had, I mean, it wasn't just a thing in books of siestas. They literally would go and have a snooze.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And it's a wonderful habit to get into.
I
Wonderful.
love, even in some sort of cultures, like in Japanese factories, they have pods where you can have a nap.
Really?
And I've always thought if I could have a 10-minute nap, I could then work till midnight. In fact, I do. That's how I sort of recharge. But it's that guilt. I used to feel really, really guilty about it. That mum guilt, that kind of, I shouldn't be doing that. I should be doing something, filling my time. Now I think, no, do you know what? I need to not feel guilty about requiring the amount of sleep I do. I go to bed at 8 o'clock. I know that's really, really dull. But people say, oh, did you see so-and-so? I'm like, oh no, it was on past my bedtime.
Well, and especially whenever we go out with you guys.
You love going out with me. Say why.
I love it.
Why do you love going out with me?
Because I always know when man says, oh, should we go and have some supper? Yeah, let's have some supper. We book it for like 6:30, 7 o'clock. And then by 8 o'clock, it's, oh, right, time for bed. I'm off now, bye. And I always say to Robert, oh, well, we don't have to worry. It won't be a late night because it's mad.
Exactly. And what I love most is that we're at that stage where I say, oh, okay, sorry, I'm tired. I'm going now.
Yes.
And you'll go, oh, okay. Even might be halfway through pudding. I don't care. When I get tired, I just have to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know, why do we always, as women, I think, we generally put ourselves second, third, fourth after the needs of everyone else. But we shouldn't do that, should we? Because it's like if we are steering the ship, if we are flying the plane, we need to be refreshed, well and happy to make everyone else safe and happy.
Totally. But I think the problem is we get married, then we have this...
That is the problem. You need to say any more. The problem is we get married.
We don't... Actually, do you know the numbers for people getting married are now less than people who aren't married?
I'm not surprised.
Really? I was really surprised.
Were you?
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I was really surprised. It's like 48% of people now get married. That's all.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. I think it is quite outdated.
Well, I mean, as you know, Robert and I have been together 30 years this year, still not married.
Don't rush into anything, Pen. I've told you before, you've got to be 100% certain,
But he still, when he wants to really annoy me, he introduces me as his girlfriend.
I love that. I say to Simeon, you're my boyfriend, aren't you? He goes, yeah, I am. He's also my husband and my best friend. Well,
but the point is you have this label of wife, and then you have this label of mother, and then you're a carer, and it's almost like, why is it women have that?
I don't know. I think it's changing. I hope I hope the balance is shifting. I know we spoke last week about the split of division of chores and housework in the household, and we were saying how for our kids, for example, it's a very, very even split. Childcare, chores, all that stuff, and in fact, Simeon as well is brill. But it is a sort of generational shift. Maybe it's taking time to,
Could be. I mean, for me, I just really think I need my sleep, and if I don't get it, I tend to not function terribly well. Yeah. Occasionally, I go through phases where I worry a lot. I'm a bit of a worrier.
When do you worry? Is it 3 a.m. like everyone else?
Yes, always 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And the only way I can get back to sleep is either by reading for 20 minutes, which annoys everybody because all the lights go on.
Everybody, who's there?
It's that tiered seating again. So I have to read, or I listen to a
podcast.
Listen to our podcast, sends me to sleep. No, listen
Makes
to
you laugh.
a book that I know is I can go back and redo the chapters.
Yeah,
that sends me straight off.
Insomnia it's when you get into a cycle of insomnia, it's the most debilitating thing, isn't it?
I actually work with a couple of the girls in the team, and both of them are up literally for 3 or 4 hours a night.
Oh, I couldn't cope.
And one of them, lovely Hilary, we call her the voice of reason. She's very grown up and sensible.
Get her in.
Yeah. She goes and does the ironing. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anything worse.
I don't iron.
Well,
I don't do ironing.
Yes, but can you imagine not having all those hours sleep? I mean, I just can't imagine having 3 hours sleep a night.
No, I can't. I mean, some people function quite well, don't they? But I think you can't do that indefinitely, can you? You must just get...
I don't really know. I don't really know enough about it. Surely your body can't recover.
Well, I remember doing a little bit when Josh and I wrote The Boy Between. I did a kind of a small bit of research into the benefit of sleep and what it was doing to Josh's brain when he didn't sleep, which was night after night very often. And partly it was the medication he was on briefly, partly it was, thoughts running through his head, whatever. But it's all about that regeneration of cells and that sort of refreshing and just that feeling where your body is readying for another day on the planet, basically. And if you don't have it, the cumulative effect of it can be really, really damaging.
Do you remember, I mean, I was always told as a child that even if I couldn't sleep, if I was lying down,
Still.
I was being refreshed.
Yeah.
It was good that you were...
Rest.
Yeah, resting.
Yeah.
Resting. I don't know whether that's true.
Probably something in it, I don't know. But mainly, I think the main thing about that is that your parents just didn't want you downstairs.
Exactly.
Oh, you're fine. Just lay there, close your eyes, it'll all be all right.
Because when I was little, I was terrible. I didn't used to go to bed very early at all, and I would be up. And I remember crawling into the lounge, and we used to have these lovely high-backed chairs.
I remember you saying you crawled underneath them.
And I used to crawl underneath.
You told us that. I'd just picture you doing it, Pen.
Yeah.
I think that's really cute.
It is really cute. It is really cute. But probably very annoying for your parents.
It's fun, isn't it? Because I don't remember... I remember never wanting to go to bed when I was a kid. And my mum and dad were really, really strict on bedtime. So my bedtime, and I remember it very clearly, was 7:30, which I think is early because I was 19. No. I can remember, it's like 7:30 you have to go to bed. And I must have been about 11 or 12. So it is very early, really.
So what about the boys then?
All of us went to bed then.
You all went to bed at the same time?
Maybe, and I think it crept up to sort of 8 o'clock. And I can remember going to school, and this is really sad. I used to get a bus and train, tube to school, whatever. And people would say, oh, did you watch, Sweeney last night? And I go, yeah, I loved it. It was really good, wasn't it? And they go, it wasn't even on. Because they knew about my early bedtime. And I'd be like, it was just devastating. Now, someone tells me to go to bed at 8. Yes, please. In fact, all those things, eat a vegetable, go to bed at 8. Yes, I'll do all of that. That's wonderful. Give me a plate of Brussels sprouts and a duvet and I'm done. Fantastic.
No, I think it's a very good thing to get into the habit of trying to get as many hours sleep as possible.
Cram them in. Pen, I was going to ask you, this is quite left field, but I've been watching, as you know, I love the Durrells. Have I mentioned I love the Durrells?
Just a bit.
And I was thinking, if I wasn't English, what nationality I would like to be. And I'd like to ask you that question. If you weren't an English Rose, which clearly you are, what nationality would you be and why?
I think we've spoken about this before. I think I would love to have been Spanish. I love the whole way of life in Spain. I love the siestas. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Oh, God, that dog is snoring so loudly. I must apologise, peoples. Keeping it real. No.
Shall I throw something at it?
She's sleeping in front of the Argo, so we'll just leave her there.
Yes, I would have loved to have been Spanish. I love the smell of Spain. I know that sounds weird.
I thought you were going to say of Spanish people.
No. When you land in Madrid airport and you go through, the minute you landed, you could smell the garlic. You could also smell the cigarettes. They used to smoke a lot of ducados, we used to call them, which literally, the smell of them, lovely. Takes me back. And the food. I mean, I don't think you can beat Spanish food. I love a tapas.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you make it?
Well, yeah, mind you, no, not really. No, don't use tapas. But again, we've broached this subject. I don't like to share my food.
You do not.
So when we have tapas, they say sharing plates. Not on my table, they're not. These are the tapas that I've ordered. They're staying on my side of the table. Never
Put your
sharing.
arms around them.
Yes.
We've got a fabulous tapas bar opposite the house in Ilfracombe, and it is honestly fantastic. We'll go there. It's amazing.
I need to go there.
You do. We need to go anyway.
Yeah.
We need to do lots of things. This is this bucket list that isn't a bucket list that we keep talking about.
I know. So what about you then?
Well, I thought about it. Obviously, being a Viking, I should say Norwegian or one of the Scandi countries. Being very tall, blonde, and leggy, you can see why I would go for something like that. I wish. But I thought, actually, do you know what? I'd like to be Greek.
Really? I've never really... I mean, I love going there.
Oh, I love everything about Greece. I love the architecture. I love the history. I love their mythology. The language, I think, sounds very poetic and beautiful. The colour Grecian blue is the most perfect colour, I think, in the world. Greek food, just the way the sun glints on the Ionian Sea, the architecture, those blue-domed roofs of churches amongst all that white in the midday sun. And again, the way Greece smells, the particular trees, the sap, the honey, the blossom, olives. I mean, I would love to be Greek.
Really?
Yeah.
We do love going there, and they're a very welcoming people, aren't they?
I have never met a Greek person or a Greek family or a Greek environment where I haven't felt that I could actually pull up a chair at the table and be welcome. It's very, for me, it feels, obviously I grew up in a Jewish household, it feels very akin, that kind of, as it is if you're Italian or Irish, I mean, it's that love through food. You know,
and
that
family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The sort of onus on family and, you know, building a bigger table and just making an extra plate. And I don't know, there's something about it. When I was younger, in my early teens and in my mid-teens and early 20s, I used to go away on my own quite a lot. I don't know if I've told you this, but I had quite a sort of, I don't know, always come from a busy house and had a busy job and a busy life. And the greatest gift I used to give to myself would be to pack a bag and go and find a little Greek island somewhere and go and stay there for a fortnight by myself. And all my friends would be like, you're mad, I'll come with you, or do you want company? It's like, no, I really don't. And in those days, I'd have to pack, you know, pre-Kindle, I'd have to pack a bag of books, basically, and just jump on buses and jump on ferries and just go and live in Greece for 2 weeks on my own and let my thoughts calm and let my body settle and swim. And it was just like an elixir magic for me.
We talked, didn't we, about how evocative books can be about places, and Captain Corelli's Mandolin.
Oh, my favourite.
You know, but I actually read The Island, and that was just before we went to Greece for the first time.
Wonderful.
Victoria Hislop, is it?
Yes, yeah. She's a nice writer.
And that book, just, I couldn't believe how much I wanted to see the things that she was writing about.
Isn't that amazing?
And we actually went and visited that island.
I love that.
The for lepers, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Is it Spina Longa?
I don't know. I'm not going to risk my pronunciation.
Yeah, but that was amazing.
Yeah,
that was
wonderful.
really amazing.
Something about it, isn't there, when you're reading a book set in a place, like, for example, Swimming to Lundy, set in Ilfracombe.
Exactly.
How marvellous to learn all about North Devon.
But you can tell that you have experienced it, and I'm assuming Victoria Hislop experienced Spina Longa.
I would think so. It's a lovely excuse, isn't it, when you go away and what are you doing? Oh, I'm just it's research.
Research.
Have to go travelling on research. Pen, can you believe that is the end of our episode? I know. I feel like we've been talking for 5 minutes. That has gone so quickly. I've loved our chat today. Thank you, darling. And thank you all for joining us for another episode. Keep your eye out for the next one, which drops every Friday from wherever you get your podcasts. Tell your friends, follow us, and keep up to date on our Insta page, which is
at the Chit Chatters. So send us a comment. Tell us what you like. Basically, just message us. We absolutely love hearing from you.
We really do. And so until next time, take care.
Bye.